Hey Thrivers. All right, I'm going to share with you some marriage myths that we are going to debunk. I talk to dozens of people every single day about their marriage, and it baffles me how many people still believe these absolute false truths about marriage, divorce, and how to save a marriage. So I'm going to share with you guys what you need to pay attention to and the common mistakes many people make when their spouse says they want out, or they're having an affair, or they don't want to work on the marriage with them. There are so many people out there that are just spreading negative opinions, biases about marriage and divorce, and even well-meaning people are often giving very poor advice. So you want to make sure that you are careful with who you are listening to. You cannot listen to people who do not have the kind of outcome that you want to have, or you're going to get the same results that they have. So if you don't want their kind of marriage, then make sure that you're not listening to their advice. And this applies to anyone. I believe results don't lie. Whenever I'm looking for someone to help me in an area of my life, I want to make sure that they are actually living what I want to live, that they have the result I want to have. So that is why it's so important to not listen to negative people, the negative Nancys that are going to say, oh, you can't do it. You should just move on. You should just divorce them. If that's not in your heart to do it, then don't listen to them. You cannot listen to those people. Some people believe it just takes too much time, too much effort, or even a willing spouse to turn a marriage around. But the truth is, it does not. What you need is the right process. And that's where our path process comes in, right? Now, look, I used to be like you. I used to think that if my spouse wasn't willing to work on things with me, then there was nothing I could do. I used to believe you could not come back from an affair. I used to believe that there was no recovery from broken promises or broken trust. And I have seen for myself how this path process has turned around not only my own marriage, but what many people would call a hopeless marriage. So comment below if you feel like you have a hopeless marriage and you relate to all of this negative advice or perspective that people are giving you about your situation. So for those that do the path process, everything changes. You go from a spouse that's completely unwilling to work on the marriage with you to one that wants to make you happy and wants to be in the relationship with you. Which do you prefer? All right. So there are 5 myths that you need to stop believing in right now. Myth number 1 is it's impossible to save a marriage when the other person isn't willing. We have proven with over 15,000 couples that this is not true. 90% of our couples start from a place where their spouse is not willing to work on the marriage with them. They're not even talking to them, and they're on the verge of divorce. And we show you how you by yourself can save your marriage on your own without your spouse's initial involvement. There's things that you can do that are greatly going to influence the outcome of this situation. And you need to own your personal power here. And above all, know that no matter what, you want to live your life with no regrets. I know I do. I want to look back and say, I know I gave my marriage everything I could, right? And so know that you can save your marriage on your own by doing some new things in some new ways. You're going to get some dramatically different results. Myth number 2, it takes too long to turn a marriage around or stop a divorce. And this is absolutely untrue. In fact, we've seen that we can turn a marriage around very quickly if we do it the right way. So comment below, let me know, how long have you been working to heal your marriage? How long have things been on the rocks? Or how long has this tension been going on between you? All right. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make is the fallacy of going and spending years wasted in therapy. Therapy does have a place, and it's good to get professional help of any kind. Well, I'm not going to say any kind. You want to make sure you make sure you get the right help. But the reality is that therapy simply takes too long when your spouse is wanting a divorce. Simply talking about your problems is what most therapy practices do, and insurance dictates what therapists can and cannot say. We are not therapists here at High Thrive Coaching. We are coaches, which means we literally get to tell you word for word what to do, what to say, what actions to take. And we can guide you and hold you accountable to those action steps. And when you have the right action steps, things can turn around very quickly. We have seen marriages that were, on the brink of divorce to within 6 months, they are healed, reconciled, back together, recommitted to each other. Now, I'm not going to say that that happens every single time, but marriages that they thought it's going to take years for things to resolve, it really only takes a few months when you do it in the right way. Now, myth number 3 is there's no way to heal if there's been an affair or broken trust. Again, this is false. If you have it in your heart that you want to become a better person yourself and you want to learn from the challenges that are before you, and an affair is a major one, it is an emotional trauma. But if you have it in your heart that you want to learn from this trauma and you want to learn what contributed to the affair even happening in the first place, then you will become a person that does not get defeated by this trauma and this challenge, but a person that becomes an even better version of themselves through this process. And most of our clients that have gone through an affair and have healed things say it was the best thing that ever happened to them. Why would they say that? Because they realized that there were things that they were doing before the affair even happened that were not as functional or healthy as they could have been. They take accountability for their part in it, and they allow their partner to take accountability for their part, which is a huge piece of this equation, right? But the reality is that you can absolutely heal from an affair. You can heal from broken trust. It's a process, and you want to make sure you do it the right way. So if you want more help with affairs, comment the word affair, and I will send you a free training that we did specifically on how to heal from an affair. Myth number 4, you can save your marriage simply by working on yourself or trying to do it on your own. Comment me if you're trying to work on yourself or you feel like you can just handle this on your own. So many times people are like, this is my personal problem. I don't need to go get help for this, or I'll just figure it out on my own. And they don't take the time or energy or the effort into making sure that they do it the right way. Working on yourself is good for you, but we have seen that it is not enough to turn a marriage around when it's on the verge of divorce, because your partner either A, doesn't notice the changes because they don't see them because they're not paying attention anymore, or B, they see them and they just don't care, or C, sometimes they might see the changes and they think they're just a manipulation. So you working on yourself is good for you, but you want to make sure that you have someone that can read the label on your bottle, because the saying goes, you cannot read the label when you're inside the bottle. So we know how to read the label on your bottle to diagnose what's really going on and prescribe the right treatment plan for you in your marriage. So if you want a free breakthrough session where we read the label on your bottle, diagnose what's going on, and prescribe the right treatment plan for you, then comment and say, read the label, and I will get that to you right away. Now, myth number 5 is that if your spouse won't talk to you, there's nothing you can do. Now, this is a little bit true, yes and no. There needs to be at least some level of communication between you in order to turn the relationship around. But if you have the opportunity to communicate even just a few times a month, even if it's surface level or just about the kids, and they won't open up and talk about the marriage, there is opportunity for you to get more communication going. In our path process that I mentioned, one of the first things that we do is create safety around communication so that your spouse will be willing to talk with you more and more. We have to go slow to go fast in this kind of situation if they're really not talking to you about hardly anything, but you will see results faster than you realize. So if you have ever thought any of those myths, then there's a great possibility that this might have been holding you back from having the success that you want to see in your relationship. Now, how does the path process work? Here's how it works. Step 1, they hit the pause button. If you guys have heard me before, you know how important the pause button is. This is where we go and deeply analyze your marriage and uncover what is actually pushing your spouse further away. This will often surprise you because sometimes the things you think are the right things to do are actually backfiring. So we'll identify what pattern you're in with your spouse and interrupt that pattern so it gets their attention and gets them to hit the pause button where they stop pulling away from you more and they start to consider the possibility of staying and being happy with you. From there, we go into attraction. And here is where we open up that communication. We go from surface level communication to be able to create more safety around communication, and it feels rewarding to them, so they want to communicate more. Sometimes as you open up communication though, it can be a little ugly as we start to lance the wound and get the gunk out. It can be a little bit hard to hear, but we need to get those things out, and that's why we're here to support you through that process. As we open up the communication, in building some safety there, it's going to help things feel safer and help them have the opportunity to feel more attraction and connection with you. And this is where we help you flip the script so that they actually are reaching out to you, wanting to spend time with you, inviting you on dates, initiating conversation. That's exactly what we want to see happen here as step 2. Step 3 is tell a new story. And here is where we overcome any of those deeper issues between you so that you both feel safe and secure. You can heal from past pain. You can work on forgiveness, healthy boundaries if needed, especially in an affair, and working on those foundations in a relationship. And here's where they're going to want to work on things with you. But you can often make a big mistake right here at the end, and that's either A, getting stuck in the friends stage, or B, you push too hard too soon for commitment and it backfires. And that's why we bring you safely through that stage to step 4, which is all about healing commitment. And this is where you have resolved those issues between you. You have that healthy foundation. You're able to communicate and talk about anything. You're restoring and healing trust between you. And here's where they give you their heart fully again. And you create a relationship that is happier and healthier than ever before. All right, so this path process helped save over 15,000 marriages already. Our clients have gone from on the brink of divorce to within just a short amount of time. They are healthy and they are happy, they are functional, and they are thriving. And so if you want to see how you can get there too, make sure you join my Masterclass happening live next week. Just a bit of a plug for that. So comment Masterclass if you want the details before everyone else, because it's capped at 100 people, or just comment Save My Marriage below, and I'll make sure I reach out to you to get you on that free marriage session where we can go deep into what are these issues that are causing your spouse to pull away further, and what are the steps that you need to take within the next 48 hours that are going to help them to hit that pause button, help them want to communicate with you more and start to take some steps towards you. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Give us a like, give us a comment if you have enjoyed it so far. My heart, my love, my appreciation goes out to you. You are amazing. You are deserving of love. You can get there. So hold fast to what is in your heart, and we will help you succeed. So thanks for watching. I'll talk again soon.
Thanks for listening to The Thriving Marriage, your A to Z blueprint for not just surviving marriage, but thriving. Until next time, my friends, thrive on.